Hey everyone, I'm Ty Strawn and welcome to my presentation today on GMOs, pesticides' effects on crops and plants. In recent years, the use of pesticides has increased in places all over the world. Due to their negative side effects, the widespread efforts to ban pesticides has gained momentum. Research suggests that pesticides do not alter the growth of plants significantly because multiple studies have shown a lack of additional growth, and in extensive experiments with carrots, there was no significant change in growth. Over the years, the ever-increasing pesticide usage has piled pressure on farmers to use more and more pesticides in crops, due to the theory pesticides add growth to plants and crops. This has caused the majority of foods to be fully exposed to pesticides. This belief has also contributed to the idea that the use of pesticides may be an easier way to boost production and yield more financial gains due to larger sized crops. Many pesticides manufacturing companies have marketed the claim of pesticides altering crop growth, which has inevitably contributed to the substantial usage and trust in pesticides altering plant growth and yields. In comparative analysis, however, it was discovered that pesticides will not make a significant change in growth of a carrot or rice plants used with and without pesticides. Let's bring forward our main points in the discussion. It was proven that the rice plants showed no signs of growth, although those specific rice plants that were flooded were able to grow regularly. This showed that pesticides do not have any bearing on the rate of growth and were comparable, at least in nature and size, to treated plants, according to Akhtar and Sengbukpa. A case study revealed resistance, proving the unlikelihood of a simple pesticide genetically altering a plant. This was concluded when host plant resistance was demonstrated, according to Wadowski et al. The results of the experiment served to confirm the research thesis that pesticides have no effect on the growth of plants. Widespread efforts to ban pesticides has gained momentum over the last decade. Studies highlighting the negative effects of pesticides on humans have elicited a debate as to whether the chemicals have an effect on growth of plants, according to Perry in 2012. Past studies indicate that indeed the use of plants have no major effect on production yields. A study done by the interdisciplinary toxicology in 2009 revealed that the percentage balance ranges from 34 to 39, again according to Akhtar et al. In 2009. So let's bring it all home in this conclusion. Based on the interpretation of the data illustrated, pesticides do not affect the growth of carrots and or plants in any way. Government legislation should now be implemented to focus on developing organic farming markets and farmers utilizing those markets and other efforts versus increasing pressure on farmers to produce more food to feed the world. So let's summarize our main points here. Now we have one, multiple scientific studies have demonstrated the lack of the effect of pesticides on growth on plants. Case studies conducted in 1998 by David Wadowski and others demonstrated host plants resistance. This proved the unlikelihood of a simple pesticide genetically altering a plant. 3. Another case study, which will be used in our visual aid, consisted of monitoring carrots for 180 days under conditions of water, sun, and the pesticide of one plant. Researchers measured individual height, width, leaf surface area, and chlorophyll juice of the carrots. After a 17-week period, it was concluded that pesticides do not significantly alter the growth of plants, according to Hamilton and Crossley, who also contributed to the visual aid in 2010. In the past 20 years, pesticide use in plants have tripled, despite noting pesticides were beneficial in reducing insect destruction, but repeated and excess usage caused a decline in crop productivity and stunted plant growth, according to Huang et al. In 2000. In closing, I'll add, this leads me to question really where the idea that pesticides do really affect growth even really comes from. Some believe they make plants smaller, while others believe they make plants bigger. The clear result of the experiment concluded that there was no significant difference in growth. Now going to our visual aid here, we have the case results of the carrot that was used with Monsanto pesticides and also without Monsanto pesticides. Now given the chart, blue is weight, orange is the leaf surface, green is chlorophyll, and height in inches. You can see the total difference here that with Monsanto pesticides, it was roughly over 8.1, 8.2. Without the pesticides, it was about 8.5 from a weight perspective. From a leaf surface area, we're roughly 3.8, 3.9 with pesticides, and without, we were at 4.1. The chlorophyll measured was actually higher with the pesticides, which brought us to probably even flat of 3. And without the pesticides, we had roughly the same measurements. Height, we can see there was a considerable difference in height. With pesticides, we had it around 5, and without pesticides, we had it around 6 even. So now, given all this information here, I would like to take any questions from our audience and see if I can answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Is the validity of the research affected by the fact that the experiment did not proceed to full maturity of the carrots?
That's a fantastic question. It is my opinion the validity of the experiment was not in any way affected by the fact that analysis of the 2 plants, as you see here in the visual aid, was done before their maturity. The process of growth is gradual and somewhat constant, especially few weeks before maturity. The carrot maturity period is approximately, I would say, 17 to 24 weeks. An analysis on the 17th week is reflective and valid. In any case, the experiment was not focused on the time period of the growth process, rather the effect of pesticides on the growth irrespective of the stage. You have any other questions?
Yes. So why have farmers been using the pesticides if it does not result to any benefit? Should they have stopped after observing the trend?
That's a very, very good question. It is my opinion that most have been misled to embrace the pesticide usage in their farms, think that it will improve their production and yields, and of course, that'll increase their financial gains. Farmers have purchased the pesticides left and right and used them in their farms only to discover that yields remain relatively constant, as we pretty much saw in our visual aid. However, pesticides vendors have always been quick to point out other factors that will result to low productivity. They also advise farmers to embrace other measures which come at a higher cost to enhance their productivity. This has led to reliance on pesticides with hope of enhancing productivity, according to Phillips and Park in 2002. Thank you so much for attending our conference today, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you so much.